I'm going to cover. My purpose is not to change your religion. My purpose is not to make you believe everything that I say. On the contrary, I'm the only one in the world that will tell you, listen to everyone, read everything, believe absolutely nobody, including me. You see? And I'm telling you, don't believe me unless in your own research you can prove what it is that I'm telling you. Because this is the age of deception. And if you don't believe that, you might as well go home right now because you're in the wrong place. This is the age of deception.
Now to an NBC News exclusive tonight. After weeks of debate, growing concern about the alleged use of chemical weapons by the Assad regime in Syria. Tonight, one of the most important figures in the region says chemical weapons were in fact used. He says he has proof of it. And the world, including the U.S., he says, isn't paying nearly enough attention. NBC's Ann Curry is with us now live from Istanbul in Turkey with details. Ann, good evening.
Brian, that's right. Turkish Prime Minister Erdogan, a longtime U.S. ally, told us Syria's government has crossed President Obama's red line on chemical weapons. And he challenged the U.S. and the world to end the war just across his border.
It is clear that the regime has used chemical weapons, missiles. They used about 200 missiles, according to our intelligence.
Obama described the design of planned attacks on buildings inside the U.S. and how operatives were directed to carry them out. That is valuable information for those of us who have the responsibility to protect the American people. He told us the operatives had been instructed to ensure that the explosives went off at a point that was high enough to prevent people trapped above from escaping. He gave us information that helped uncover al-Qaeda cells' efforts to obtain biological weapons.
And it can be even more, but not less.
What evidence do you have?
We have these remainders of these missiles. There are pictures, and then there are intelligence reports. And there are patients who are brought to our hospitals who were wounded by these chemical weapons.
So, has President Assad crossed President Obama's red line?
A long time ago. Well, it's not now. It has been passed a long time ago.
The Prime Minister did not show us his evidence or say what kind of chemical weapons were used, but said he will share it with President Obama when he meets with him next week in Washington.
Mr. Obama and myself, of course, we are aware of our responsibilities, but we want the United States to assume more responsibilities and take further steps.
Many people in the United States are weary of war, and some are asking, why do we have any obligation at all to get involved in Syria? What is your answer to that?
No one should and shall defend war. But how can you remain silent? A strong country like the United States, country like Russia, they should not remain silent.
He says the world is standing by while people are dying.
These children, women, young and old, they are going to be killed, and we just sit here and wait and watch.
Prime Minister Erdogan said President Assad should leave Syria immediately, or he could end up like Libya's Muammar Gaddafi, killed by his own people. Meantime, the White House reacted to the Prime Minister's interview with us today, saying it does not yet have the evidence to say for certain whether a red line on chemical weapons has been crossed, and that the President looks forward to meeting with Erdogan next week. Brian?
Ann Curry with the exclusive interview tonight, live with us from Istanbul. Ann, thanks.
A multi-billion-dollar, globally operating biotech agriculture giant takes on a 76-year-old American farmer based in Indiana. Vernon Bowman's entire life is his 65 acres of land, run with machinery he jokingly refers to as junk. Monsanto, the corporation behind dozens of lawsuits involving farmers all over the world, creates and sells at 3 times the price of regular crops genetically modified soybeans able to resist weed killers. The company demands that farmers repurchase these Roundup-ready soybeans for every plant. The seeds cannot be saved and reharvested.
Hey, we got a farmer up here that's raising beans that's got Roundup in it, and the judge said he wasn't supposed to.
After purchasing the soybeans once, Bowman later bought more at a grain elevator and replanted them to save money later in the season.
All my life, myself and other farmers have been able to go to grain elevators and buy grain and plant it.
He assumed this was fine to do because there are no trademark logos on each seed, just on the bags you buy.
They're a little round bean, about 1/4 inch round in diameter. Now, you can't go put a patent number on them, can you?
The farmer's main argument is that soybeans self-replicate, while Monsanto and the courts claim he intentionally reharvested the seeds season after season without paying the patent owners.
We all knew it'd be 9 to nothing.
According to U.S. courts, this farmer wasn't playing by the rules. The Supreme Court ruled unanimously for Monsanto.
The issue is simply, did I infringe on their product? And I see no way that I infringed on them. And of course, all crooks feel they're right, right?
The U.S. justice system said Bowman used the blame the bean defense, pirating a patent while claiming to simply be reusing a crop. A corporate giant versus a veteran farmer battle it out all the way up to the Supreme Court in a case over crops patents. With a variety of possible interpretations of the law, judges rule against the farmer, demanding that he pay tens of thousands of dollars worth of damages. The fine, $85,000, money that Bowman says he simply does not have and never will. His lawyers work pro bono on the case. While the Supreme Court says each case is individual, concerns peak about how much of a precedent it will set, affecting individual farmers and the future of agriculture versus biotechnologies moving forward.
I heard when I was a little kid that progress leads to destruction. I never paid any attention to it, but I'm beginning to look now. Maybe it does. I don't know.
Anastasia Churkina, RT, Sanborn, Indiana.